Special good morning to one and all. Welcome to another edition of To The Point for today, Wednesday, the 18th day of October, 2023. I'm your host, GT. I'll be around with you for the next, about 58 minutes or so. Yeah, that should be around that time. Good morning to those of you who are listening via Classic Radio, whether it's 105.5, 105.9. Good morning to you. Those of you via GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 20. Good morning. What about our social media platforms? Good morning. Whether it's the Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning. GBN's webpage, gbn.gd. Good morning to you. Thanks for being with us this morning here on To The Point. You know, on Wednesdays, we do entertain various departments within the government departments, I should actually say. And with us this morning, I do have the chair of the National Celebrations Committee with me this morning. That's Ms. Jackie Alexis. Let's go over to her and say good morning. Good morning to you, Ms. Alexis. How are you this morning? Thanks for being with us again. Seem to be a bit of a regular on GBN. Thanks.
I certainly do, don't I? Good morning, GT. Thank you for having me on yet again.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for being with us, for taking the time to be with us this morning. Well, we know of October 19th tomorrow. The activities are coming up, Heroes Day, and all of the, of course, the other bits and pieces that's going to be coming together to make the day a success. Tell us about it in terms of how preparations are going and how things will be flowing and once and for all for tomorrow.
Well, things are going moving rapidly. The stadium's being set up and we're getting ready. And so I'm just taking my last opportunities to reach out to the general public in case, for some reason in the last 2 weeks you haven't heard my voice. You're getting the opportunity to hear it this morning. And to encourage everyone to come out to the stadium tomorrow morning, join us for this commemoration, join us for this important moment in history as we commemorate our first ever National Heroes Day, at the same time commemorating the events of October 19th, 1983. So, it's a double whammy, and it's an opportunity for you to be there.
For some reason, we lost Alexis there a wee bit. Not sure if it's a little technical glitch in the
background. People do not know. We are putting on free buses. The buses are free. You just have to reach out to your parliamentary office, and they will give you details of buses that are passing through your communities, so that you can take advantage of that resource. So please, do so. Come out and join us tomorrow morning in the stadium. Be seated by 9 a.m. Well, actually, by 8:45, because we will start promptly at 9 o'clock.
All right. In terms of giving us a brief rundown of what's happening, it kicks off from 9 a.m. You say at the National Stadium. Give us this. How does it proceed from there?
We will begin with an ecumenical service, which of course will be delivered by our church leaders. Some of our church leaders will include, what you would expect in a service: reflections, scripture readings. There will be some gospel singing and so on. And that will be followed by a commemorative ceremony. And that will include the choir, PBC Boys Choir will sing for us. We have our national folk group singing for us also. We will have some remarks by family members of those who would have lost their lives in 1983. We also have representation from Maurice Bishop October 19th Martyrs Foundation, who in fact we have consulted with significantly on this program, who have had quite a significant input and are supporting the day tomorrow. We are expecting to have in our presence Mrs. Angela Bishop, which we're very happy that she is able to join us. And so it is going to be a very special and auspicious occasion.
But Alexa, I'd just like to take a pause for a wee bit, and we come back with you just to get a little technical issue sorted out there for a minute. I'll be back with you pretty shortly. Just about a minute to break us, so we come back. So if you don't listen now, just hold 1 sec. We'll be back with you in just a minute. Stay with us.
Grenada. The moment we've all been waiting for is almost here. Our own indomitable senior women's national team is gearing up to clash with the U.S. Virgin Islands. The iconic Kirani James Athletic Stadium is the battleground. On Wednesday, October 25th, kickoff is at 4 p.m. sharp. And trust me, this is one you won't want to miss. We're not just unbeaten in League C. A victory now will skyrocket Team Grenada straight to League B in the CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup qualifiers. And let's not forget our shining stars, the unparalleled Nia Thompson and the dynamic Malia Ramdani, both voted into the best 11 players in the last round of matches in League C. Tickets, adults 20, children pay 10. The stakes are high, the excitement electric. Our girls need your support. Grenada versus U.S. Virgin Islands, Wednesday, October 25th at Kirani James Athletic Stadium. A match of destiny. Be part of the magic. Be part of the history.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. Once again, it's To The Point for today, Wednesday, the 18th of October. With us this morning, once again, we have Ms. Alexis. She's the chairperson of the National Celebrations Committee. She's with us this morning, and she's been giving us some, of course, and sharing some information in terms of the, of course, Heroes Day, of course, activities that will be taking place tomorrow, the 19th of October. And she was extending that of course, that invitation to all Grenadians to come on out to be part of it. And you started off, Ms. Alexis. Welcome back. It's my bad for not saying welcome back to you. You started off a while by saying, telling individuals, Grenadians as a whole, all Grenadians as a whole, to come out of the National Stadium from 9 a.m. tomorrow, and you were giving some details. Of course, some of the dignitaries was going to be there and so forth. Would you like to continue? We'll continue on that leg.
Well, yes, of course. Just to continue say that actually we're starting at 9 a.m. So please be in the stadium by 8:45. That's critical. We must start on time. We will have in our presence with us the Governor General and the Prime Minister. And as I said, Mrs. Angela Bishop will be with us. So we want to make sure we start on time and respect that moment. And then as the day progresses, when we complete our day at the stadium, we will finish with a symbolic laying of wreaths. We will have a bugler who will play the last stand. We will have a moment's silence, and that will complete our morning. So we'll be done by about just after 11 o'clock. And then at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, there will be a tolling of all church bells across the Tri-Island state. And we are asking the nation to stop whatever it is you're doing, whether you're in your living room, whether you're at work, whether you're on the beach, wherever you might be, to please just stand and observe a minute's silence in reverence to our lost loved ones and to those that perished on October 19th, 1983. So that's a minute's silence at 1 p.m. And then the last part of the day will take place on the Carronage at 7 p.m. We're asking persons to come out with your candles, and we're having a candlelit vigil on the Carronage. And it's a less official event. I mean, there aren't going to be long speeches and stage put up and all this sort of thing. It's much more an organic thing, a gathering of people with their candles, and I'm sure there'll be some singing and some praying and maybe some drumming and so on. So it's far more organic event on tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. on the Carronage.
And I'm assuming that will accumulate the day's activities, and of course, and I would say preparation is a go for tomorrow, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm headed off to the stadium in a while to make sure that everything is in place and that we are completely set and ready for this occasion. Again, it really is an important occasion for us. This is a history-making moment and a legacy-leaving moment for Grenadians, and I would encourage everyone, once you are able, to come out and be part of this moment in time for Grenadians.
All right. Ms. Alexis, I want to thank you once again for just popping by this morning. Short stay with me this morning, but thank you a whole lot for sharing information. And I just said you sent out that invitation. Certainly hope all Grenadians will take the initiative, coming out and be part of it. And it signifies
the entire nation. It's not exclusive to anybody. This is for the entire nation. Please feel that if you want to be part of this, come out and be part of it. We're even bringing busloads of our students from the schools across the country, so that it becomes, a gathering of the young, the old, and an opportunity to learn about your history and to be part of history making.
All right.
So come and be with us tomorrow morning at the stadium.
All right. Thank you once again, Ms. Alexis, and certainly a pleasure speaking to you this morning. And best wishes goes out to you for the entire day also.
Thank you, GT. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, all the best. Hey, folks, that was Mrs. Jacquenline with us this morning, and certainly thank her for taking the time out to share a couple of minutes and speaking with us pertaining to the Heroes Day tomorrow on October 19th. And, of course, we take a break, folks. Coming back, we do have Minister Ron Redhead with us this morning also. A bit of shift in my guest, who I was expecting, but, of course, we certainly will accommodate him. And so we do that after the break. Stay with us, folks. Don't touch your dial.
On October 19th, 2023, Grenada pauses in solemn reflection and commemoration on our first National Heroes Day. Grenadians everywhere are asked to join in all the activities which begin at 9 a.m. with an ecumenical service at the National Stadium. Come out and honor our loved ones through prayers, heartfelt tributes, and the soothing harmonies of the PBC choir. Listen for the church bells toll in unison across the nation at 1 p.m. and in collective reverence, pay our respect with a minute of silence. As the day closes, we gather with our candles on the carronage at 7 p.m. for a light tribute in final homage to those no longer with us. Let us remember and honor our loved ones together on National Heroes Day, October 19, 2023. Please contact your local parliamentary office to arrange transportation.
Introducing the NIS Dream Loan, where possibilities are boundless and your aspirations are our priority. No matter where life takes you, NIS Dream Loans are here to make your dreams a reality. From purchasing your first plot of land or dream property to renovating spaces, building your home, and seamlessly switching mortgages, we cater to every step of your journey. And here's what sets us apart. We offer easy financing options with competitive interest rates, quick approval processes, and flexible repayment terms. So why wait? Apply now and let our dedicated NIS team guide you through this exciting journey. Visit nisgrenada.org/dream loan or call 440-3309 to book an appointment. Terms and conditions apply. Your dream awaits.
For a limited time, the NLA has dropped all of the 2X balls from the multi-X draw. This means that you, our valuable players, have greater chances of multiplying your winnings up to 5 times more in our 2X drop promotion. Yay! And that's not all. As an additional bonus, there will be fewer free play or FP balls to draw from too. Now you have more reasons to add multi-X to your playway bets. So, value your dreams, win your way, and multiply your winnings up to 5 times more in the NLA's 2X Dropped promotion. Promo runs until Friday, 20th October, 2023. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. It's to the point here on, of course, Classic Radio and HBN TV. Good morning once again to my social media platforms, whether it's the Facebook page, YouTube channels. And let me say good morning to the Honorable Minister Ron Redhead. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome back.
Morning, bro. Yes.
Well, it wasn't actually you as busy having on studio with me this morning, but, you know, whenever a minister comes around, you do have to entertain them.
And we do appreciate that. Thank you very much.
How are you this morning? How are you doing?
Not too bad, you know, just good for the time, continuing to recognize October, the month of the elderly, the month of children, and also the month where Grenada had a very dark period in its history. So we just continue to go through the month of October and observe.
I was just speaking to, of course, the chairman of the committee a while ago. That's Mr. Jackie Alexis, and she was giving a bit of a rundown of the activities that will actually take place tomorrow, Heroes Day. How you feel about Heroes Day? From a minister point of view?
Yeah, no, I honestly, I am satisfied. I think Heroes Day is something long overdue. I mean, Grenada, in terms of the archipelago, got its independence before a vast number of the islands, and we did not pay homage, so to speak, or at least put the mechanisms in place to pay homage to our national heroes. And despite it took 50 years, we're going to be celebrating that next year, to commence that process. I feel satisfied that we are doing this, and to see it's coming from a generation who certainly was not around revolution, so Eric Gary era, etc., but understanding the value of the history. So Heroes Day is a symbolic day. It speaks to our achievement, and notwithstanding the day itself, October 19th, is a very dark period. But what we are saying is that on that day, positivity should reign, because the lesson learned for the nation should never be repeated.
You know, October 19th has always been a ticklish day for Grenadians.
Yes. If
I could use it in the simplest terms. Sometimes I like speaking in the simple terms.
Yes.
It's been a ticklish day for Grenadians. The loss of lives, on that particular day. Yesterday, I had a call-in program with folks, and folks were having various views on the day, or reason why we haven't to have anything of a celebratory mood on that particular day. What's your take on that in terms of people? You remember last year when you also did, articulated that we couldn't have sometime last year that you articulated that we wouldn't have a holiday on this day and so forth. And there was a bit of a backlash in terms of how people felt about it. What's your take on in terms of people having that variant feeling towards having anything to do in terms of a celebratory mood on this day because of the sad dark day that you spoke about? Although you did mention a while ago that it's a day that positivity should also reign.
Yeah, because about healing.
Yes.
So essentially, the day should capture the commencement of the healing process for Grenada. As I said, it took us 50 years to recognize, 40.
Do you think we're ready for healing?
The thing about healing is that sometimes you have to save people from themselves. You can't let the pain and strife destroy you. So in this sense, the responsible thing to do, the obligation of the administration, is to pivot the nation towards that path, because a healing Grenada is going to be a more collaborative Grenada, is going to be a more progressive Grenada, because we're going to work together.
I agree.
And not let these things continue to divide us. So in sense, it's a process that has commenced, and healing is a process. This is only the first step, and this is why we did not go out unilaterally as the administration to just go naming heroes. We are going to take the approach to open up the opportunity for all Grenadians from all walks of life to be recommended. We are saying in the first sense we would proceed to name 5 national heroes officially, and then we would move to, in future, when the time arises again, to name for the heroes. But we are certainly going to open it up, and the process is going to be so much so that it's not only centered around the Grenada Revolution.
Yes.
Now, it's 40 years since the revolution's demise. We have to accept that for many, it was a lost opportunity, and also for many, it was a moment, as they would categorize it, as for freedom. And as such, you always often have to balance between opinions, or rather individual experiences, as opposed to telling the story as is. You may not agree with the history that occurred. I may not agree with the history that occurred, but the fact is it did occur. And at this stage, we ought to tell it. We ought to mark the day, not in celebration, but to mark the day as this is what happened, this is what occurred, this is the history that Grenada had.
I mean, looking at it from that point of view in which you have just mentioned, it may be understandable for some. But there are still folks who will always have that feeling that, October 19th,
they want nothing
to do with it.
Yeah.
Even there are individuals who still have their misconception about October 25th.
Yes.
You understand? Why are we doing it for that particular reason?
Right.
Why do we have a Thanksgiving and all of these things? People are just going to have their varying feelings.
Right. And that is the message. You see, the element of compromise is something that I think society is missing. Too often is my way or the highway. So you could call a program, if you don't agree with the guests or the hosts, you could tell them off, and you think your position is the universal position that everybody is taking in the nation. When in truth and in fact, that might just be your position. But the idea to be tolerant to different opinions and observations is something that we need to learn as a society. And even if it takes us 50 years as an independent nation, we believe now is the time. And the fact is, it's never too early or it's never too late to learn tolerance, because too often we preach one but we do an X, because it's easy for us to say that young men need to be tolerant, they need to stop the violence and so on, but when we're in a position of power and we have to make decisions, we often is my way or the highway.
Yes.
So as a government, what we are saying is we're opening up the framework to begin national healing through this means, because this was a very divisive, dark period in our history, but we can use it out of that to come good. Another of course conversation that's been happening, folks are saying, that there should have been more consultation. There's always a key word that comes in there. We should consult and talk and get more feedback from individuals. Folks are getting the impression that, this was forced down our throats for some reason or the other. Yeah. Well, it took us, so I can tell you, this is long overdue by some of the main stakeholders. Yeah. They have been calling for this a long time, right? And the message is that we commence the process. We have not moved to naming. We have not moved to designating. We've commenced the process. Today, October 19th, will be known in future as National Heroes Day. Right. And what we are saying is that this shows a sign of maturity. It also shows a sign of understanding the value of your history and trying to now begin the process to have the right structures in place to tell that story and that history and document it. Now, I'll tell you this. Some people argue that Grenada is the only country who, in sense, from a very basic way, and looking at it, celebrates the invaders, right, so to speak. And I mean no disrespect, but I'm saying this is a sentiment. So take, for example, there's a monument down at Point Saline International, well, Morris Bishop International, but down at Point Saline, the land, for the Americans. There's a monument for the Cubans. No monument for the Grenadians who died. And I'm saying, whether we want to accept it or not, it did happen, and Grenadians died. So our responsibility, our obligation, is to mark the day. It's not to say who was right or who was wrong, but it's to mark the day and to say call the names, tell the story, so that the future generations to come and those present now who do not know about it can get to understand and can understand it from the background of well-researched facts. I'm not talking about just opinions, but well-researched facts. What occurred, and tell the story so that we can not repeat the negative aspect of the history anymore.
Another conversation out there, we're sticking on this topic a little bit, but folks are saying maybe that October 19th should have been left alone. Heroes Day should have been pivoted on a date for itself. What's your take on that?
Well, there's always the varying views. I think, given the highlight of a hero and what that means for a country, the day is going to be significant, because it means, therefore, something had to occur on that day specifically to be able to label it National Heroes Day so that you can mark and honor Grenadians. Notwithstanding that people committed atrocities, and you have to look at it in that light, because at the time, the mindset was for hardline extremism, that sort of thing. And then you had that faction within the PRG where it contributed to the demise, yes, but also it told us a very detailing fact that in any organization, political or otherwise, there is always going to be a split. So this is why I don't anticipate everybody to agree with the October 19th as National Heroes Day. But when we talk about a hero, it is someone who is celebrated and brings people together. And as I said earlier on, notwithstanding that the day itself is a very divided and dark day, but the intent, because we are talking healing, is to promote the unity and the collaboration and bringing people together on that day. So that's why it was named National Heroes Day and not National, how you may want to call it. Well, I wouldn't
we don't
say,
want to come up with a name,
but not another name. So, and to reflect negativity, but something positive to bring people together, notwithstanding what occurred.
All right. I certainly understand. I understand it from my personal point of view, but I was just expressing the sentiments of a lot of individuals for how they were feeling about it. And I just wanted to get a perspective from you being a government minister.
Yes.
And
but we do continue to get it time and time again. This is why, in hindsight, the request by some stakeholders were honored. That request was honored on the basis that we do not know everything, and as government we are very tolerant to hearing different views. So we understand that if, for example, the launch, I'll give you a joke. In Grenada, we have funerals where we bury the dead, and we have happy hour on the same day. Right, so when people say
mourn and you have
so that does occur, but in principle, you would understand the context. It will be far different from just an ordinary burial service, and you have to put into perspective the long scars, the historical scars that individuals, families would have had to endure, and then vice versa, those who did the atrocities, those who were the families of the victims. So you had to weigh the pros and cons, and if people express the concern that it should just remain a solemn day, then you'll have to see in future. But I could tell you, naming it National Heroes Day will allow us to pivot now to a more brighter, energetic, bringing people together kind of future.
All right. We have a caller. Maybe want to chime in on the conversation before we switch our topic line this morning. Let's go over to the caller. Good morning, caller.
Every time I hear these people talk, I'm getting more confused. Listen, I heard that goodly gentleman a while ago said that we propose on that day, National Heroes Day, to commemorate the occurrences of the 19th of October, 1983. Yes. The occurrences, sad, horrific, most despicable things that was able to occur in this here country. The occurrences. Yet, the name of the day is, and this is where they come to me. I can't talk about that here, but I know the English language. The name of the day, National Heroes Day. I would like to get the connection so that I, Jackass Rollo, can understand it. Seek wisdom, get understanding. Help me out. Make the connection. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, will you?
Thanks,
thank you, caller.
I thought I just did, because I said that given the fact that you had such a bad, just to use simple words, act occurring in our history, what we are saying is that in order to galvanize national unity, notwithstanding this day was a very divisive day, we are naming it National Heroes, because heroes are positive energy, things that we all as a country should celebrate. And we need to pivot from what occurred. We are saying that an error was made in the past. I have no horse in the race in this regard. But one has to understand that in order to move forward, there are times when you would have to do things almost the total opposite as to what occurred. And in sense, it's not to continue the dark period and sadness that people feel. A lot of people have moved on, but the vast majority still generally did not, and as such, that's the people in that era, and as such, we want to help them move on. So celebrating National Heroes Day and naming our national heroes in future is going to help bring it together. You never could tell. Both the leaders of one of the revolution and the other one of the era of Sir Eric Gary could be named on that day, and think about the benefit of understanding that had they worked together in the past, this history may not have been even something that we are speaking about. But that's the message that we want to send, brother.
Are we probably going to take our final caller within this segment and move on to another after the break? Let's take a caller. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, GT, and morning, Minister Redhead. A few things. One is that no matter what is done, there'll be controversy. I remember when the naming of the Mount Bishop Airport, there was a lot of, noise and so on. And now we are settled down with the name. So that is not expected. But my thing is, I think we should start at a different point. First of all, we have not honored our ancestors. In fact, we have dishonored our ancestors, mainly our African ancestors. We had 2 holidays in honor of them. And we traded one for colonial cricket. That is one. So we have Indian Arrival Day. We have nothing for the ancestors. So that is one little point. The other thing about it is to do with reconciliation. We spend an awful amount of money which we don't even know the sum to conduct fraud, Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And no one knows. I would ask you, Mr. Minister, do you know, have you seen the report? And does it point anything of value for us? I mean, we need to put first things first. And while I'm not going to contest the date, in terms of now, I'm saying that we need to do certain things first. And finally, we should have, but 2. One is that in 1990, in the General Revolution, there was a day, Heroes Day. That is a time when Bonnie Bailey lost her life and Jackie Bailey lost her leg. Have we not taken all of these into context? And also, finally, in the 1990s, when I made my organization, not I don't want to be them I people, but my organization is also St. Mark's, organized for an award ceremony for 30 women and women organizations for their contribution to the society. The then Minister of Legal said, Dr. Pansel, to use that as a motivation to go and institute an award system. Couldn't we benefit from what has been done? I mean, I think maybe if we had more consultation, we might have not been in the kind of, doggy. We have to find a way to really put things to rest, but I think we need to begin from the beginning.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Antoine. Very, very pointed. And I think that is a process that we are beginning. But we are saying this day is very divisive, and we have to fix it. In order to get the reconciliation, the healing, all these other elements, there must be a compromise and understanding what needs to happen. But all the other aspects that you have raised, the consultation is only just beginning. We are not forcing anything down anybody's throat. And I don't know anyone who is calling for peace should be the one who is being criticized for causing when we didn't cause the problem. It's something we inherited and we want to fix it. So we're asking you to come on board, not criticize, but probably recommend as well what we should do. So thank you very much, Brother Antoine.
All right. So we're going to take a break and come back. We come back, we switch the conversation a wee bit. We want to extend on it too long of here. We switch the conversation, we come back. Stay with us, folks. We do for a break. We're coming right back.
Grenada, the moment we've all been waiting for is almost here. Our own indomitable senior women's national team is gearing up to clash with the U.S. Virgin Islands. The iconic Kirani James Athletic Stadium is the battleground. On Wednesday, October 25th, kickoff is at 4 p.m. sharp. And trust me, this is one you won't want to miss. We're not just unbeaten in League C. A victory now will skyrocket Team Grenada straight to League B in the CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup qualifiers. And let's not forget our shining stars, the unparalleled Nia Thompson and the dynamic Malia Ramdani, both voted into the best 11 players in the last round of matches in League C. Tickets, adults 20, children pay 10. The stakes are high, the excitement electric. Our girls need your support. Grenada versus U.S. Virgin Islands, Wednesday, October 25th at Kirani James Athletic Stadium. A match of destiny. Be part of the magic. Be part of the history.
On October 19th, 2023, Grenada pauses in solemn reflection and commemoration on our first National Heroes Day. Grenadians everywhere are asked to join in all the activities which begin at 9 a.m. with an ecumenical service at the National Stadium. Come out and honor our loved ones through prayers, heartfelt tributes, and the soothing harmonies of the PBC choir. Listen for the church bells toll in unison across the nation at 1 p.m. and in collective reverence, pay our respect with a minute of silence. As the day closes, we gather with our candles on the carronage at 7 p.m. for a light tribute in final homage to those no longer with us. Let us remember and honor our loved ones together on National Heroes Day, October 19th, 2023. Please contact your local parliamentary office to arrange transportation.
Coming up on Caribbean Medical, breast cancer.
And millions of women are every year surviving breast cancer and living full and complete lives.
So once again, promotion, prevention, these are areas that we need to strengthen on so that we can even get early detection and then we can walk from there.
Caribbean Medical, right here on this station.
Back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point for today, Wednesday, the 18th of October. With me this morning, the Honorable Minister, Redhead. And, of course, we're going to shift our conversation just a wee bit. We spent a little bit of time, at least a couple minutes, on the October 19th. We're going to, of course, divert from that just a wee bit. I want to talk sports. You know, we're into the Malcolm's term now for school.
Yes.
We're getting into the... I left school so long, you know. We get into a lot of schools are getting up for sports. So tell us what's the ministries, of course, of sports plans in going forward. We know there's the stadium and all of these issues have to be dealt with in terms of the sporting activities going up. So tell us what's going on with
So,
that.
for example, today we have the launch of the D Sports Shop Intersector Netball Tournament. That is in collaboration with the Ministry of Sports. So that's going to be launched today at the Tantine Hard Court. We anticipate the sports policy. Right. We have already got the clearance from Cabinet to proceed to commence the law itself. It was passed since 2012, and we're now going to put it into action. We have completed, let's say, around 80% of
because the last time you were here, we did have a conversation on that in terms of the sports policy.
I'm pleased to report
well,
now.
Nice that you're coming back and say something about it.
All right, so in time for budget, that will be ready, and we would have that law on our books officially through the process. So
probably could have another conversation. Probably could detail it a bit more.
The expectation is once that is done, we would then move into the election process to elect the parish councils, which has to be done because they would make up the national, the chairs of the parish councils will make up the national councils, and we would be requiring a statutory body. That's the National Sports Council is going to be a statutory body. What I can report safely is that at a budget preparation level, we have budgeted for the cost for it. So the hope is that once all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted, we would be in a position, certainly early next year, at least in first quarter, to commence this, and we would be hearing a new statutory board under the Ministry of Sports, that is the National Sports Council. This is going to help us greatly, because whereas in the past associations would have to come to central government or the ministry to get things done, and in terms of the schedule and priorities, all these other things, it's always in conflict. The Sports Council, from its end, is going to be exclusively tasked to manage and schedule the operations of all the associations or assistance to them. So, for example, financial assistance. The hope is that while government will inject a percentage in terms of the presented cost for the year by an association, the expectation is that the private sector now would be encouraged and incentivized to now also give the remaining percent, so that it is a contribution contribution from a whole of society approach that feeds into sports. Because what we have observed, while a lot of people have played sports in the past and is playing sports now and are playing sports now, the challenge is that sports has become a very professional discipline.
Yes.
And it's no longer just a man have a talent and he can run fast and so on. It is something professional. So the need to go there is costing. The state has its obligation, and we would like to focus primarily on grassroots.
Yes.
Not to say that will be the only thing, but we want to invest more in grassroots. So sometimes giving the national associations to go out, represent Grenada, etc., distracts the government, and not in a derogatory way, but to say that it distracts us from our obligation of building the grassroots, then feed into the national association. So we are going to set up this statutory body. They would be exclusively tasked to liaise with associations, the Olympic Committee, all these other stakeholders in the mix to ensure that funding is available from both public and private sector, and that the central government can now focus on building out the grassroots through the very parish councils, so that we can get things rolling. Then it will also ease us up to give us the resources so that we can upgrade facilities.
Yes,
because that is a major concern.
That's why my question about the stadium comes in. We have to talk about that.
Right. So that is actually a major cost to the state right now, including the stadium, right? Because in relaying tracks, central government is going to have to bear the responsibility. The stadium authority, I would say, is in its restructuring phase. So we have, I can announce that it did increase its fees for promoters.
Yes.
And while that may not have been met with the best, in the best way, and it's totally understood, but the truth is, time and time again, shows do occur on sporting facilities. It's damaging it, and the government then has to turn back out the same resources to fix it, to get the sports to be played. The challenge is that if these facilities are being damaged, the injury to athletes is a major concern for us. And then it can also, in the case of the stadium, interfere with the ranking that you get for playing certain games, events, etc. So you have to be mindful of those things and always take it in the context as to what this was really set up for. Yeah. You have to try and prioritize it over the other things. It's not to say that you do not want to have the other shows, but what we need to do is build out the other facilities so that the promoters can have options, not just one area, and have to use it.
But I mean, the stadium has become one of our main facilities that's available on the island for having events. If you want to have a big activity, you understand, it's one of our main, and the use of it. But I think sometimes it's get used for the wrong purpose and stuff like that.
We are looking also, for example, to commercialize the car park. If this is done, it can generate the necessary resources. You can then upgrade it properly, and there would be an alternative in terms of venue that size to host some of the shows. So we have to look at all options, but the primary purpose for the National Stadium and both stadia is to ensure that they are utilized for what they are built for. So cricket, in the instance of the National Cricket Stadium, and athletics and the other disciplines in relation to the Kirani James Athletics Stadium.
All right. Has the government ever foreseen, building other arenas, or foreseen the government plans for the future, other arenas where we can have events of that nature and not using our main facilities for sports for that particular purposes?
Of course. So the Simone Cultural Center comes to mind. We do have some difficulties up there. I am not at privy right now to speak on it. However, I would say please await further details and information. I think we are speaking with the Ministry of Infrastructure to ensure that everything is going to go according to plan. We have already received the new redesigns, which was critical because you can't build a facility at that magnitude and not have a teaching capacity up there, because it meant therefore you would just create a pavilion and a stage just to have shows, and then when we talk culture, you're not able to lead out anything. So we are satisfied that the redesign is purposeful and will actually add value to it and will begin to lead off some of the cultural teaching programs that we honestly want to incorporate into society. But there's need for separation. All right? There's need for separation.
Now, the 2024 sports season is coming up pretty soon. We have Intercall and all of that. What's the ministry's take on that? Are they ready? Are preparations in gear? I'm hoping to say it's early time to talk about it, but there's never early time for any sporting activity.
Well, I think since it was clear that Grenada had won the bid, the intention was to get everything up and rolling. We are about 60% in terms of preparation. There are some hiccups here and there that in hindsight, I think if we had pushed a little faster and if greater communication was had, we would have been in a better position, because it's always easy to say we're going to host the character, but to prepare for it is always a challenge. So I think that are we going to have it? Are we going to have it? Yes, of course. It will be done. Yeah, character will be hosted. So one of the prerequisite is to change the tracks. I am pleased to report that we have already passed through the procurement board, no objection, and so the contractor is expected to commence soon. The ministry met with the contractors recently. That is the Ministry of Works representative, CTO, the new permanent secretary, myself as minister, and the coordinator of sports already discussed with the contractor, and we were preparing contracts and making some adjustments here and there to get that final decision on what they will sign on to, and then take it from there. But all in all, we are on track. We're also on track with the renovation of the cricket stadium as well, through the kind assistance of the People's Republic of China. We had some back and forth, naturally so, because we were trying to ensure that when we do this, it's a comprehensive renovation, and not a case where we renovate now and then in the future we would have to go back again, and so on. Yeah. So something that I'm preparing to discuss with the Chinese ambassador soon is the issue of training in metal maintenance, because that is a major concern. And whether we like it or not, we're not going to get away from building or constructing buildings with that. So we might as well just invest in the capacity to be able to maintain it. The stadium is a prime example as to when you build something, you must have the ability to maintain it. And that was discussed. We are going to get the manuals in English now. We're going to be in a position where once this renovation is done, we would have some people to then do the maintenance of the metals locally, so that it does not rely always on external assistance just to do something like that. So it's a part of our whole self-sufficiency vision in all aspects, and this is as simple as it looks, is something that we believe is very profound. So we anticipate that work to commence soon in January 2024, and it should not hinder Carifta. We also have completed initial conversations with the Swimming Association to commence the Aquatic Center in Grenada. So preparations are being made. We are going to have some further discussions, and I expect Cabinet to be informed in short order as to the updated information, and a decision should be made shortly as to how we proceed. All right.
So we do for a break. Let's take it, folks. We do for a break. We'll be taking a break. We come back in the next segment. Just approximately 10 minutes left on the show. Listeners, viewers, if you do have anything you want to contribute in terms of a question to Honourable Minister, feel free to do so when we come back in the next segment. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it, and relax it. Eliminate violence.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, food and rum cravings acting up? Well, it's that time of year in Barbados. Over 1,000 runners on the streets of Port of Spain. It's the newest road race challenge, a Pan-As premiere. It's all next on this station.
box we say, yeah. GBN we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say. We'll be jamming here on a Thursday. It's a
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point here on, of course, Classic Radio and GBN TV. Good morning once again to my social media, of course, audience. I'm seeing loads of questions. We'll be getting to them, but we do promise to take some calls within this segment. Let's go to the phone line and entertain our first caller in the segment. Caller, good morning, and you're welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So we talk about this celebration tomorrow. In any case, I mean, it's not bad for the nation. In any case, the other government was brave enough to do the honor we are doing in any case, you know. It wasn't brave and plucky enough to do that. So they humble what they gave 25th and they accept it. It's nice to know what your history and know what's going on in the country and everything in any case. It's very important, you know. But 1979 was not something what bound to happen in the days gone by, you know. That didn't bound to happen at all in 1979. At all. Doesn't matter, them guys, them bright guys wanted power and they still gave it been too long and he worked too long and they want to get him out of power. But you didn't got to take the time to be leaders and humble, because they was inside as the opposition. They'd be around today, but they force themselves in power, and they force themselves out, fighting for power. Power, everybody power. They had power in the hand and still kill one another for power. So shame and thing what happened to me in the past. There's the boss.
All right, caller, thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. And I've seen a question from someone via the Facebook, Honourable Minister, and they asked me to ask you this one. And they're saying, Shadi said, was your dad a part of the revolution? Was he a victim of October 19th? They're asking that question.
Yes, yes, he was.
All right. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Hi, good morning to you, Mr. Telesford, and to Honorable Minister, and to your followers. It's very encouraging, Minister, that you did say that you're a government that listens, and we have recent evidence of that from the changing of the launch date for the 50th anniversary, and I hope that will continue. Now, on the matter of the Heroes' Day. Now, generally, a hero is someone who is remembered not for what was done to them, but for what they did. People who are remembered for what was done to them are called by a different name. They're called victims. They're not called heroes unless they stood up and they did something. Heroes are remembered for what they did. And it's very important how we laid markers down, because there would be a legacy moving forward. Now, what happened on the 19th, it was atrocious. I lost people I knew very well, and it's something that shouldn't happen again. It's a bad day in our history. But I cannot agree that everyone who was a victim of that atrocity can rightly be regarded as a hero. You're getting my trend. So therefore, if we do not want to, I would say, prejudice the process moving forward of naming heroes, we have to stick to heroes. And don't confuse heroes with victims. So for that reason, I would humbly recommend that we look back at this whole matter of heroes and look for people who have done things that are noteworthy, that we would remember them for. And as bad as October 19 was, we don't want to confuse heroes and victims. That's just my humble opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. And,
I think the caller is right. This is what I said earlier on, that it's not a case where we are naming all heroes after anybody in the revolution. It's not one size fit all, and it's going to be a cross section of the nation. Maybe some who have passed on and some who are living.
All right. Another caller. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, GP. I know there's not much time. I want to say that the day, what I'm getting from what I'm hearing is that this Heroes Day is like to change the mindset and to take out the concentration on the atrocities that took place on October 19th. But it is so deep that that naming Heroes Day will hardly erase the atrocities that took place. This atrocity was too deep. So I don't know how, the naming heroes and what it will do in the mind of people. That's why it's so confusing, because this wound has been so deep that calling it Heroes Day to erase the start of the atrocities, I don't know if it will work. And also what I want to say to the minister, please ask your Minister of Education to take the gospel of Jesus Christ into our schools. We have to realize as human beings, we have a spiritual nature. We are made in the image and likeness of the Almighty God. And we need to take our spiritual lives seriously. Bring our children, our youth, to the knowledge of who they are as human beings with the image of God, made in the image and likeness of God. They must get a godly awareness, know who they are in God, and that they need to have a relationship with God which controls them, which delivers them, which protects them, which gives them peace of mind. We can't get it from materialism and from other areas. We need to go back to God. Please, Grenada, go back to God. And that which we're having tomorrow, I really wish that the Spirit of God would invade that ceremony and make it one of National Day of Repentance, so that Grenada could have some more favor with Almighty God. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Minister, we just have about 30 seconds left on the show this morning. Any closing comments?
Yes, well, just to say that I look forward to all Grenadians participating tomorrow, please the Lord. It's a sad moment, but it's a moment where we want to begin, as the last caller just said, the mindset change and to engineer a positive day, but not forgetting what occurred, but telling the story as is, but to ensure that as going forward, the nation will go on the path of reconciliation, healing, and peace.
All right. Minister, I want to thank you for popping in with this morning. Of course, it was a little bit on schedule, but thanks for having you and coming in and sharing the information that you did. And I certainly hope all who listened certainly got some clarification in terms of what you said. Thanks once again, and all the best. Have a good day.
Welcome. All right.
Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for To The Point for today. Join us again for another edition. Until then, have yourself a good one. We'll say goodbye.